Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. This week, coming to you from America's North Coast, beautiful Lake Erie, we're talking about controlling our emotions to get time on the field, in the boardroom, whatever it is, and trust. So this past week, I was working with one of my college athletes, and we were talking about the power of emotional control. Because here's the deal. She's not playing as much as she'd like. One time she didn't go in with the second round. She's a soccer player, didn't go in with the second round, wasn't happy about it. Her emotions took over. You could tell, and everyone could tell, that she was not pleased with the fact that she was still on the bench. So she's been, she's young, she's getting better, she's learning, she's getting more time, or was getting more time. And then this, all of a sudden she doesn't go in when she thought she would. And her response was frustration, disappointment, sadness, all the things that are normal and all the things that are coming from a really good place. She cares about playing. She cares about contributing. She cares about the game. The problem is that after that, she went to talk to her coach, and her coach said, here's the deal. You don't look ready. You don't look ready. And if you don't look ready, I can't trust to put you in. And secondly, the coach said that she had to be made an example, because everyone can't act like that. In fact, that goes back to a couple weeks ago when we said if everyone acted like me, or if anyone copied me, would I be proud or concerned? This is one of those concerning times. That everyone can't show emotion about everything that disappoints them. Because when we show too much emotion, and we're not going to get rid of emotion. Emotion is one with sport. In fact, it's important in sport. But there are times and ways to show our emotions, and at times, those emotions allow people to look at us and say, ooh, gosh, I don't think she's ready. Fast forward to a couple days after that conversation, I'm having a conversation with one of my soccer clubs, and I said, have you ever had your performance derailed or disrupted by emotion or mood? And every hand in the room went up. Of course it did. Yes, we've all been disrupted by our emotion. I am not exempt from that. My emotion took me out of situations in games as a player, in games as a coach, in games as a parent, you name it. But what we know is that when we get emotional, our amygdala fires up, that's the emotional part of our brain, and it shuts off our prefrontal cortex, which helps us make better decisions. In fact, research from cognitive neuroscience shows that emotional arousal narrows our attention and reduces our working memory capacity. It makes it harder to stay in the moment. It makes it harder to make good decisions. So if we know this, learning to manage our emotions and to respond instead of react is going to make us a better player. Also, when we're showing our emotion, it's an outward signal that says, hey, I've lost it just a little bit. That signal travels really fast. So think about it. We've seen players cry after winning because they didn't get what they wanted. We have seen athletes hang their heads after being pulled out. And that stuff spreads, right? Even if it was best for the team. We've seen eye rolls, shoulders hang, dugouts and benches, the energy shift because of someone's emotion. That catches like wildfire. We've talked about contagion a million times. That kind of emotional leakage does not build trust. And trust is the foundation of team performance when it comes right down to it. It doesn't strengthen relationships. Relationships are vital to our team chemistry and working together. It doesn't open communication, and communication, especially on a soccer pitch or a basketball court, is vital to the best possible team outcome. When we see somebody visually frustrated, our brain makes a split-second judgment. Can I trust her or him? It's not a moral question. It's an instinct that says, I don't know if I'm going to pass you the ball because I don't think you're ready, or I don't think you're ready when I look down the bench to go in, and then guess what? You stay there. But here's the good news. Our emotional response is trainable. And here are 3 research-backed ways we can do that. First, number 1, when our emotions rise, Dr. Siegel says, label it. Now, we initially go to, I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed, I'm all these things. We need to move on from that, away from I'm, to I feel. We've talked about this before. Using I am keeps us in that state. it keeps that experience in our mind, in our body, and we have a tendency to respond to that frustration as if it's our only state. When I say I feel frustrated, that feeling, that's the operative word, correctly identifies the emotion as transient. It comes and it goes. We're experiencing frustration. We aren't frustration, we're experiencing it. Simply adding the word feeling or noticing strengthens our cognitive process and helps calm our reactive amygdala, and it helps regulate that emotional experience. As always, the words we choose significantly impact our environment, our situation. And although I'm listing this as number 2 as tools, this is exactly where I went first with my athlete who's struggling. We can control or manage our emotional response by using our breath. Going back to the physiological sigh, 2 inhales, 1 and then another, and a long exhale can lower our emotional response. It lowers our stress response, and that is outstanding for helping keep our emotions in check. Now, we can't just do that when we're upset. We've got to practice it outside, and that's what she's doing this week. We can take that breath, which changes our response. And then lastly, we can mentally rehearse our emotional response. This is called motivational imagery. We can rehearse how we might feel and then watch ourselves do what we want instead of reacting to whatever it is. This makes a huge difference. We can visualize our posture, our face, our expressions, what we're giving off, because we know our influence is never neutral. Each time we do this, we strengthen the neural pathways of composure. Our mental memory, muscle memory gets strengthened, and then we're basically telling our body, hey, when this happens, here's how we're supposed to act. This is in our best interest. Here we go. Let's do it. So remember that leaders and high performers, they don't pretend like they don't have emotion. They just figure out how to manage them better. They recognize that what they feel is valid and that it will come and it will go. That's just the way it is. They're not avoiding it, they're managing it. Because readiness isn't just a skill. It's a signal to everyone around us, even to ourselves, that says, hey, I'm either ready or I'm not. And if we really want to play, if we really want to lead, if we really want to be our best, we have to manage ourselves before we can manage anything else. And no one wants to manage us if we can't manage ourselves, plain and simple. They'll go on down the line and pick someone else. So when our body language, our tone, our eyes, our posture, all those things say, I'm steady, I'm ready, we're going to be better. Science proves it. So if you'd like to talk about this or anything else with managing your mental game, hit me up, juliej@ssbperformance.com. And as my son says every day at AM Copley, have a great day or not, the choice is yours.